So you've never been afraid to make a statement or stand out from the crowd, huh? You aren't hesitant to challenge other people's worldviews, broaden your own horizons, and live by your own standards. Rebellious people receive a terrible reputation, but the truth is that many personality types are rebellious, and it's not a negative thing. Conversely, there's nothing wrong with being a stiff upper lip, straight-laced person who wants to follow the rules and color between the lines. In popular culture, the image of the rebel has transformed to represent change makers, movers and shakers, and individuals who force us to reconsider the status quo. Think Han Solo, Tyler Durden, and Katniss Everdeen. So where do you fall on the spectrum of rebellion to obedience? Today I'm ranking all 16 Myers-Briggs personality types from least to most rebellious. Be sure to watch until the end of this video to find out exactly where you fall on the list and to see how rebellious your type really is. Let's get into it. Welcome to Success for Breakfast, where I'm serving up brain food made simple. Before we get into the ranking of personality types and their characteristics, it's critical to know the definition of rebellious in order to understand which one you resemble more. Rebellious, according to Oxford Languages and for the purposes of this video, means showing a desire to resist authority, control, or convention. The term has often been used with a negative connotation, but it actually shows the potential positive aspects of personalities that possess this trait. At number 16, I'm starting off with the ISFJ personality type, which is the least rebellious of all the types. Known for their compassionate nature and desire to help others, ISFJs don't radiate a rebellious character. With the dominant cognitive function of introverted sensing, they tend to prioritize safety and ease of life. If someone tries to disrupt that, they can become snarky and disobedient to defend themselves. Although Fast and Furious's Dominic Toretto may be a rebel, the ISFJ actor who portrays him, Vin Diesel, certainly isn't.
You know, sometimes people are a little off and they kick me in the jaw while I'm doing this scene. And I'm thinking about you guys because I belong to you guys.
Because of this type's reliable nature and reluctance to change, it would be almost impossible for them to fall down the rabbit hole of rebellion. Coming in at number 15 are the ESFJs. Warm and soft-hearted, ESFJs also tend to conform to social norms and expectations, desiring harmony and consistency in their lives. They understand the fundamentals of most laws, and as long as they don't go against their values, they will follow the majority of them. Even though ESFJs follow the rules, they occasionally harbor rebellious thoughts. They could feel overwhelmed by their frequently perfect appearances and have an urge to break the rules. Try to imagine Jennifer Lopez, Jennifer Gardner, or Steve Harvey as rebellious. You really can't. Next up, at number 14, are the ENFPs. ENFPs, although free spirits, stray away from challenging authority. With a non-confrontational and over-accommodating attitude, this type is often seen as a people pleaser. Sometimes, due to being adventurous, they may partake in risky behaviors, but never at the expense of anyone else. They may be found at the occasional protest, advocating for human rights, but apart from that, this type is far from rebellious, which is why they come in at number 14 today. Lucky number 13 on today's list are the ESTJs. ESTJs, who are especially known for their logical thinking and strong-willed nature, have a sense of duty and are loyal to family and friends. This type makes an effort to lead by example, and if they rebel, they know others will follow suit, disrupting their entire vision of order. Plus, they know they'd be seen as a hypocrite. Can you see Judge Judy breaking the law?
What are you, out of your mind?
Therefore, ESTJs take on the role of a disciplined leader of sorts, and while they may be able to spot inconsistencies in the rule of authority, they will hold their horses before jumping into a situation where they are forced to rebel. Do you know your personality type? If you are unsure of what your true personality type is, or just want confirmation if you do, take this absolutely free personality test by checking out the link in the description of this video. It is the most comprehensive, detailed, and complete test I've seen. At number 12 are the ISTJs. Although equipped with a strong sense of justice, ISTJs will do whatever it takes not to break the proper protocols put in place, unless totally called for, like George Washington in the case of the American Revolution, or Hermione Granger during her 4th year at Hogwarts. She founded the Society for the Promotion of Elvish Welfare to advocate for house elves' liberation and rights. However, since our definition shows rebels as having an active desire and not an internal moral imperative to do these things to act against authority, ISTJs rank as number 12 on the list. It is with integrity that ISTJs make their way through this world, and, in general, they are very loyal and reliable but rigid in their thinking. Rules, according to this type, are meant to be followed, as they create and enforce order. Without them, society begins to crumble. Number 11 are the ENFJs. ENFJs are known for their independent thinking and nonconformist attitude, and they are incredibly good at understanding both sides of an issue. These people are visionaries, and in every sense of the word, they are ENFJs. They radiate kindness and warmth, yet they aren't hesitant to speak up for their beliefs, even if it means upsetting others. These people enjoy pleasing others and make an excellent first impression, but not at the expense of their beliefs or aspirations, which they hold near and dear. One of the most well-known ENFJ rebels is Malala Yousafzai, who took a bullet for the rights of girls in education. Kicking off my top 10 are the INFJs. Introspective, idealistic, and compassionate, INFJs are often drawn to humanitarian causes and are not afraid to stand up for what they believe in. INFJs are skilled at being kind and diplomatic, but they also have a strong sense of independence that might make them appear more disobedient than is typical. However, due to their typical nonviolent and peaceful approaches to protesting authority, they usually aren't perceived by the outside world as being trademark rebels. At the end of the day, though, INFJs never lose sight of what matters, whether it be Martin Luther King Jr.'s fight for civil rights, Nelson Mandela's fight against the apartheid state, or Mother Teresa's fight against poverty. Coming in at number 9 today are the INTPs. INTPs are independent thinkers who value logic and reason above all else. They can be quick-tempered and impatient, but they are also very intelligent and insightful. Because of their curiosity and open-mindedness, they try their best to understand all perspectives. But if someone slaps the face of logic, they will be sure to speak out against it. The rebellion of INTPs appears quite different from that of many other personality types, in that they rebel with facts. Think Einstein or Sir Isaac Newton. So whether the discovery of gravity or the photoelectric effect, INTPs are not scared to challenge everything that we previously have known. If you've gotten some value from this video so far, please show your appreciation by hitting that like button. That signals to YouTube that you think other people could benefit from this video too. Number 8 are the INFPs. The icy, tough rebels that you encounter in books or movies may not look like INFPs. The people with this personality type, however, are total individualists, and you'll find their rebellious type to look more like William Shakespeare than Judd Nelson. They innately challenge social norms and customs in an effort to be genuine and discover what is actually accurate and appropriate for them as a person. Even if it hurts their popularity, they are frequently the ones to speak out against injustice. Although INFPs tend to be docile individuals, they may be rather rebellious when it comes to a cause they strongly believe in. Next up at number 7 are the ESFPs. Living life like a movie, ESFPs have no problem being carefree and frequently let loose. They're often the life of the party and they're not afraid to break the rules. ESFPs are outgoing and free-spirited and dislike being managed or controlled by others. This will often cause them to engage in risky behaviors that defy convention, whether it be self-indulgence or the pleasures of the moment. They will swiftly shift jobs, relationships, or locales if they feel they are being micromanaged or restricted. The way ESFPs prefer to rebel is intriguing because it is done in a purely playful and lighthearted manner, like Marilyn Monroe, Steve Irwin, or Miley Cyrus. They like living life to the fullest extent, making for incredibly delightful and exciting company. Number 6 on today's list are the ISFPs. Independent and unpredictable, ISFPs are often drawn to non-conventional lifestyles, and they're not afraid to stand up for what they believe in. The ISFP personality type is frequently associated with sympathetic rebels. Contrary to the stern, harsh rebels of television, ISFPs are more prone to revolt subtly. This may present itself as Kill Bill's Beatrix Kiddo belonging to a shadowy group of assassins, or Breaking Bad's Jesse Pinkman's underground meth trade. Their rebellion is typically not obvious, and it certainly doesn't help that they're among the most competitive types. It's no secret that people with certain personality types are more likely to rebel against authority figures and societal norms. But which personality types are the most rebellious? Let's look at the top 5 most rebellious personalities. Breaking into the top 5 are the ENTJs. Seen as natural leaders who are not afraid to challenge the status quo, ENTJs are independent, assertive, and analytical. They have a no BS sort of approach to life, and with that comes some degree of rebellion, with one of the most well-known ENTJ rebels being Malcolm X. Because of their dominance and autonomy, they will push their vision at all cost, even if it means going against authority. They may comprehend the rationale for hierarchy and bureaucracy, but they often only hold middle management roles until they are ready to take the reins. Next up today, at number 4, are the INTJs. INTJs are independent thinkers who are not afraid to challenge authority, as they have a knack for spotting phoniness and hypocrisy. Ever skeptical, INTJs prefer making judgments of their own accord and taking it from there. If what they discover challenges the status quo, they will have no problem sharing that with the outside world. They are especially driven to break new ground and find fresh avenues for the future. They appear defiant because they have little interest in upholding social conventions or adhering to tradition, and honestly, they just don't care what other people think. Where do you fall on my list of rebellious personalities? Do you think you should be higher or lower on the list? Be sure to leave a comment and let me know. Kicking off my top 3 today are the ENTPs. Constantly looking for new ways to challenge themselves and those around them, ENTPs are a very rebellious type. They are also quick-witted and charming, making them very popular with others and able to win people over to their side when fighting authority or convention. Because of their determination to make history and discover novel paths for the future, they don't care much about maintaining social norms or following tradition. Therefore, they come off as defiant. ENTPs frequently engage in debates with others solely for the thrill and enjoyment it provides. When it comes to rebelliousness, ENTPs frequently question the system in extremely clever ways, and they have a peculiar talent for pulling themselves out of any jams they find themselves in. In the runner-up spot are the ESTPs. Defiant, risk-prone, and impatient, ESTPs are among the major faces of rebellion. These unconventional types are daring and will absolutely refuse to be told what to do under any circumstances. While ESTPs can certainly get along with other people very well, they tend to lack natural respect for authority. Because of their extroverted sensing cognitive function, you'll find this type speeding in cars, enjoying intense roller coasters, and living life on the edge. They are natural group leaders and will therefore guide others in their direction. In fact, ESTP Madonna has an album specifically called Rebel Heart, and ESTP Jack Nicholson starred in a movie called Rebel Rousers.
Featuring Academy Award nominee Jack Nicholson of Easy Rider.
Topping my list and the number 1 most rebellious personality type are the ISTPs. Bear Grylls, Clint Eastwood, Arya Stark, Indiana Jones, James Bond, and Jack Bauer. The list keeps going on. Yes, I am talking about ISTPs, the most rebellious personality type. In fact, according to a recent study, the ISTP personality type is one of the most likely to rebel against authority. As independent thinkers who like to do things their own way, ISTPs are innately distrustful of the social norms and structures that society imposes on others. They are the most badass people you will ever find and have no problem resisting authority, control, or convention. Rebel or not, one thing is for sure, sometimes the world needs to hear voices in order to progress, whether this be in a household, a workspace, or a country. Being able to defy the status quo and adapt to new situations brings the world one step closer to a brighter future. So whether you're an ISFJ or an ISTP, it's never too late to unleash the rebel within yourself. Think about Johnny Depp. How rebellious do you think he really is? It might actually surprise you to find out where he falls on the list. It will definitely be a shock to find out you actually have the same personality type as he does. This video goes in depth on Johnny Depp's personality type and 7 unmistakable signs you both actually share the exact same personality.
Well, the system, the industry, shoved me down the throats of America, and it was a very uncomfortable